like I say, when I ran things, basically I was open and honest about everything. I wanted my Irish people to know, that's another reason why when I was running the LS shipyards and the companies, like any of the employees could look up and see how much the company was making and how much the company was earning and how much anything could cost. Like that's how I ran my companies basically is like, you want to see the books? Here, take a look at the books. This is how much we're making, this is how much we're earning, this is how much things cost. I always believe in just complete and total open and honesty. Like, look, this is your payroll, this is how much you're making, this is your blah, 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 blah. Just like, I always believed in just like, just show the employees the books. And several times I would even say that to my people. I'd be like, just show them the books. And I think that's how the Germans got by too. The Germans would just be like, here are the books. This is how much we're making. This is how much everything costs. What do you want to do about it? You want to raise? Basically, I believed in open, honest employment, and open, honest bookkeeping, open, honest with everything, just knowledge and just like, look, this is the way it is. This is how much we're making. This is how much it costs. This is what we're doing. So any employee, that's another reason why I think my Belfast shipyard did so well and my other places did so well, because it's like, just show them the books, just show them the truth. Yeah, I don't care. Like, it's a company. It's a big company. Running a ship costs a lot of money. And, and besides, like I say, I believe open and honesty is the best policy. Other people are like, cook the books and this and that, or distill the books or whatever. And it's like there's no hiding. I wouldn't hide any of my profits. It's like, this is there. Look. You want a raise? Where is it going to be? Who am I going to cut? And all that other stuff. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, I told my Germans to run things a certain way and told my Irish people to run things a certain way. And I seem to do really well. I don't know. Like I said, Dave, it was the same thing with my orphanages. We all pull together, we all pull as a team or whatever. I was always like a team person. And I was always telling my people, we need to work. You need to work together. And people would come and ask me for help, and I'd be like, well, first of all, start working. Are you working together? Blah blah blah. You need to set your differences aside and just work on and look at what's important. Most people, most leaders nowadays would do the same thing. Basically, this is where it all came from. Me and other people. Anyway, it's how I ran all my things. That's why Mr. Fantastic or whatever, that's why I got steam engines. That's why Lucifer Star actually did so well. Like I said, and worrying about other things like getting proper training for flight stewardesses. So, like I say, I realized, or my people realized right away that you get up to 14,000 feet, or my flight stewardess told me, well, the thing is that you get up to 14,000 feet and basically people change. Like, people change at 14,000 feet or 10,000 feet. Like once you get off the ground, like, people, like they can become unruly. They can, they can be Mr. Seat 32. I'm going to flatulate, and all that other stuff or something like that. Anyway, some funny things. They would joke about the passengers sometimes to me, but and all that other stuff, and tell jokes and stuff. But anyway, though, but it's a serious problem though. So a lot of people are trying to take over aircraft. A lot of people are trying to get money, and stuff like that. And it's like, it just fucks up a good thing. Like Nixon and JFK and Jimmy Carter. They're just fucking up a good thing. It's a good government. It's a good country. And, and they're trying to pardon themselves for bad actions or bad, horrible things that they did. It's like, they killed people. They hurt people. They they called people spies and sends them to jail for the rest of their lives or some shit. And they knew the truth. They didn't care. They shoot people in the back and then they go, oh, well, hey, money on my plate. Oh, well. They live this rich lifestyle, and you hear Richard Nixon talking about, well, does she have nice legs? Acting like this little wet short teenage kid, and he's like 60 or something like that. Like, he's pathetic. All these pathetic leaders like Jimmy Carter doing eminent domain, basically walking up to people's houses and being like, well, you don't live there. You know, and if they didn't leave, then they just shot them. So, you know, yeah, and then they would make up some sort of bullshit story about how they were terrorists or they found bomb or whatever, and blah blah blah. And it's like, well, it's your, and it was their word against the cities. You know, just like that poor escort or whatever that was thrown into the aircraft by one of the fake Kennedys. Like, all the Kennedys are dead. There are no real Kennedys. Anybody that says that they are related to a Kennedy or a part of the Kennedy family isn't really a Kennedy. They died. They have no right to any of that money. There is no Kennedy money. The only money from the Kennedys is basically the book that came out about the Kennedys. And they walked in and they killed everyone at the printing company and tried to take the profit anyway. I was trying to print and sell the book. And it was my printing company, and that's how I know. There are no Kennedys alive. There are only clones. They're all dead. Or people that took the Kennedy name. The last name. They just changed their name to Kennedy. And I kind of might have said that they could do that. But basically, that's how I know that there are no real Kennedys. So, I don't know. There are no... And Kennedys weren't rich anyway. They didn't have any money. They would have had money if they had been from Germany, but these Kennedys aren't from Germany. They're basically just living on what they stole from the government. Inflation. They have no property. They have nothing. Other than the properties that they walked in and killed people at. So, there are no rich Kennedys. Jackie Kennedy was just living at the White House. She didn't own the White House. She didn't own the money or have access to any of the money in the White House, which is actually the White Star Line money. It's all bullshit. Nixon was trying to get access to the banks the whole fucking time. But like I said, the Germans and blah blah wouldn't let him have access to the banks. But basically, you know, hey, whatever. It's all a fucking lie. Of course, then again, there's Zachary just getting access to the digital bank accounts and then just adding zeros next to his name. So, anyway, it was all a fucking lie. A lot of people died. Anyway, a lot of people writing checks for, you know, they're writing fake checks like crazy. You know, it was all fake. Bunch of hitmen be like, what's this? I invented the idea of a check. You know, and Kennedy or Nixon being like, oh, take it to the bank, you'll get paid. It's like, no, you won't. No, they didn't. They stole gold eventually or something like that. I don't know. I don't give a fuck. I was pissed. It's all this whole lie, and basically, actually, like I said, they tried this, they tried that, and none of it really worked out too well for them. And then finally, they started walking into buildings and killing people. That worked. And mostly on the money that they were going to make. So they really didn't make any money. Mostly they just killed people and got the use of buildings for a while. They got to stay in a nice hotel after they killed half the staff. Or threatened the rest of the staff that they were going to kill them. Anyway, eventually a whole bunch of people went in to start doing things about it. Anyway, like I said, there's a whole bunch of... And JFK was editing or changing the records at the Pentagon. Trying to change them. So there's a whole bunch of fake records. A whole bunch of fake lies. But like I said, there's duplicate copies at the home offices in Germany. And that's another thing that the Kennedys would realize. The Kennedys later on realized, or JFK later on realized, or Nixon realized that it didn't matter. Just because he changed the records at the Pentagon, there are still records in Germany. There's records in Romania. There's records in Korea. There's records in Russia. There's records in China. There's records in Mexico. There's backup records for everything. And the Germans had triplicate or 4 times records. So even if he changed the records at the Pentagon, it didn't matter shit. You know, because there's ancient scrolls, and there's ancient this, and ancient that, and there's these libraries all over the world. And he would have to find every single one of them to get his lie to hold. So and that's why they're going after archaeology people, and like I said, it wasn't Hitler. It was actually JFK, Nixon, or whatever, that was actually trying to hit the records buildings or trying to burn the record building. And like I said, the records were in vaults and in safes and stuff like that, in safe locations. So even after they blew up the building, it didn't matter. They just went down and dried out the documents. Anyway, Nixon, JFK, Jimmy Carter would try for years to basically, like I said, and they realized they fucked up, and then they tried to go for time travel to go back in time and fix it. And it's like, not happening. Anyway, there's a lot of things that happen, and it just becomes apparently evident that basically the American government is a lie. It's fucked. Anyway though, and Germany, like I said, and I threw them a couple curveballs.